At least 3.1 million people in Kenya are facing a food shortage. The government of Kenya, through the World Food Programme, has established that this is an increase of about 300,000 people up from December last year, who it says require immediate food assistance. A food and nutrition security assessment conducted in January has also found that over 600,000 children and 100,000 pregnant and lactating women are acutely malnourished and in need of urgent treatment. The prolonged drought impacting the north, which has left more than 2.5 million people on the brink of starvation and poverty, is only the latest in an increasingly short cycle that's leaving pastoralists and farmers with less and less time to recover. Well, for more on this, we're now joined by Allan Kute, who's a program officer at a World Food Programme in Kenya, and he joins us via Zoom. Thanks very much indeed for joining us, and welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right, so this issue of increased vulnerability to food insecurity, has this been progressing over time?
Yes, this is the third successive failed rainfall season. We had our short rains in the year 2020 that failed, and last year we had our long rain seasons that also failed. And at the end of 2021, we had our October to December, again, short rain season that also failed. So this is the successive, third successive poor season that has performed dismally. And so this has been a progression, and the numbers have been increasing over time.
What assistance is needed and is being delivered so far?
I mean, a lot of interventions are being put in place in different sectors. When it comes to agriculture, we have interventions in terms of inputs being instituted, promotion of drought-tolerant crops being promoted. When it comes to livestock, we have livestock offtake interventions being done. Water, which is also very critical in this dry period or periods of drought. We have water tracking and a lot of water interventions taking place in the arid and semi-arid areas. When it comes to the health and nutrition, we have a lot of treatment of malnourished children going on within the country. When it comes to food assistance, we also have cash transfers in various affected areas. We also have in-kind food distributions ongoing in those affected areas by different stakeholders. So there are a lot of interventions that are on to mitigate the situation that we are currently facing.
How severe is this shortage? I mean, are we seeing a real threat of starvation?
We are not at emergency levels yet, but we may get there should the next season fail, because it will be a fourth consecutive failed season. But one thing I must say is that our resilience programs that we've put in place by the government, by the World Food Programme, by other stakeholders have really supported in minimizing or mitigating the levels of stress that we are currently seeing. Otherwise, without these interventions, without these resilience programs that are currently ongoing, we would have been facing a much worse situation. So at the moment, we can say we are still at crisis levels, but we are not yet at emergency levels.
All right. In one of your previous answers, I think you gave me a hint. My next question, some of the consequences of food insecurity, as you mentioned, malnourishment. And I guess this is something that is particularly problematic in young people that are still growing, that need enough food to do the growing that they need to do.
Yes, when we talk about malnourishment, we look at specifically children between the months of 6 and 59. So we have been putting treatment programs in place. A lot is being done in terms of improving the nutritional status. The programs that we put in place and we institute are nutritionally sensitive, and we are also imparting knowledge to the communities down there in nutrition sensitive programming. So all our programs are designed to take care of the nutritional component to ensure that this is reduced to the minimal levels that we can.
Climate change has been with us for some time, and we're seeing these effects more and more. Does that mean that perhaps Kenya needs to re-look pretty much everything in terms of agriculture, investing in innovative ways of doing agriculture, given that to rely on rain going forward is unlikely?
What we are currently looking at is climate smart technologies. We are looking at focus-based financing mechanisms. We are looking at other technologies that can basically bring in new innovative ideas on how to deal with the climate change, and also not rely on rain-fed agriculture, but also bring in all these new kind of, as I said, innovations in place, technologies in place to see how best we can harness and bring in green technology, take care of the environment, and ensure that the planet and also prosperity in that aspect, if I could say, change the way we handle the issues of climate change. So a lot of thinking is going into this, and we hope going forward that rain-fed agriculture will not be relied on as much as we do now, but we shall adopt and embrace these new technologies that we see coming up.
All right, so we've been talking about Kenya by and large, but is this something that's being felt in the region? I'm thinking about Ethiopia and Somalia, for example.
Yes, definitely. We are not, as Kenya, isolated. This is a sort of a regional thing. This is a drought within the Horn of Africa. So Ethiopia, Somalia, and other countries within the Horn are also affected as much, because our climatology is basically similar. So we are seeing same patterns across the region. And of course, we are consulting with our counterparts in other countries within the region, and we are sharing information, and we are seeing how these regional aspects are coming in, and how we can support each other. Because there are a lot of cross-border things that are also happening that are compounding the problems that we are currently seeing now.
Is the international community assisting? Because I know that COVID-19 was a disruptor of note, and so a lot of funding started to move to other areas. And there are other countries, Madagascar, for example, that are going through similar things as you. Is there enough funding coming through to assist? And if not, what are we looking at in terms of, the urgency in terms of funding assistance?
What I would perhaps like to mention about that is that all the development partners are coming together. We have coordination structures within the country. We are trying to advocate. As I said, we generate evidence. The current assessment or report that has just highlighted that 3.1 million Kenyans within are in need of humanitarian assistance. I know our regional colleagues also, we are in touch, making appeals. And so we are calling up upon the donors, basically highlighting the magnitude of the issues that we are facing. It's a third failed season here and also across the region. The focus for the next season has come out, doesn't look too bad, but we are watching it closely. Distribution of that rainfall season might be a challenge. So we are all coming together to advocate and to fundraise, given the evidence that we use, so that we can all put our best foot forward and ensure that those who require humanitarian assistance receive the life-changing and life-saving opportunities that they deserve. So I think that is what we are doing, and we are urging the donors to step in, and the recommendations that have been provided by the different assessments that we've conducted should be able to provide the guidance towards where we should target, how many people, where they are, and what kind of interventions that they require.
Mr. Kute, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very, very much indeed for joining us on the program this evening.
Thank you.